Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Chandley.
And I'm Sye.
And welcome to our home in Fairhope, Alabama.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Chandley Carter, and I'm a cardiovascular sonographer for Mobile Infirmary.
And I'm Sye Carter, and I'm an electrical engineer, and we flip houses.
Yeah. So we are currently in Fairhope, Alabama. It is a sweet coastal town right in the Mobile Bay. And it really is just like a little Hallmark movie. It's a very slow place to live. I am from Dallas, Texas, which is much more fast-paced, and Fairhope is just a really sweet place to live, and we love it here.
We started hunting, and we looked at houses all up and down the eastern shore, 6 or 7 houses, and almost put an offer in on 2 or 3 of them. And then we found this house, and it was in really bad shape. But when we pulled in, we had the beautiful pecan trees in the front yard, and it was just kind of at that time set apart, and it had a lot of character, and we knew we could pull a lot of character out of the house. And then you walk in, and you walk through, and the floors creak, and you're like, oh, I like that. So It didn't take much for us to know this is where we wanted to be.
It's definitely a 60s time capsule. This was a complete gut renovation, but we still kept a lot of the integrity of the house. We didn't knock any walls out. We only added a wall, and we kept the original hardwood floors and the windows and all the things like that. So this has been a really fun, long project for us, and we're just really happy to be settled now in Fairhope. So we love it here. Welcome to our entryway / living room space. The very first thing that I wanted for guests to see whenever they walk in through our front doors is this beautiful Psalms 91 passage that we had made. It is our family chapter of the Bible that we love, and this is the forefront of our home. And as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And so this is one thing that I love in this area, and it's very grand, it's very big, and fills up this wall perfectly. Whenever we were putting in our picture frame molding, we were trying to figure out what would go best there, and I think that piece fits perfectly there. Over here we have 2 portraits by the artist Vanessa Horabuena, and these are just some really beautiful images that she had painted, and I also wanted for these to be one of the first things people see as they're coming in. They'll see Psalm 91, and as they're leaving, they'll see these beautiful images that mean a lot to Sye and I. And here is where my Facebook Marketplace journey kind of begins in our house. Facebook Marketplace has got us through the trenches, and everything on here besides this picture frame right here has been from Facebook Marketplace. I love the idea of finding a piece, especially if it's dirty and rusted, and making it look beautiful and giving it a new home. My favorite piece, I would say I have a couple favorite pieces right here, is this grand mirror that I got with this beautiful ornate shell on the top of it. And this was a mirror from Marketplace, and I snatched it quick, and I just thought, we have to have a mirror at our entryway, and it just fit perfectly here. Another thing that I love is this beautiful vintage lamp. This is actually from the Ritz-Carlton in New Orleans, and I picked it up from a fabulous man who owns an Airbnb called The Beatty in downtown Mobile. And I didn't want to change the frame or anything. I wanted to keep it just how it is. I think it just adds to the pizzazz and to the age of it, and so it's very pretty to look at. And the thing about me is I love a lamp. We very rarely use the big light in our house. In fact, that's probably the only rule that I have, is to never use the big light. We're a lamp family. That's what we do. And here I have another piece that I just really love. It's our wedding crest. You'll see throughout our house, we have this printed on napkins, on robes, on our shower curtain, which I can't wait to show you in a few minutes. Now let's transition into the living room. Here in our living room, we have, like I said earlier, a lot of natural light in this room. So it reflects off a lot of these fun colors that I have in here. All of our pillows are actually from Amazon, And I love toile. Toile is very timeless to me. It never goes out of style, and it goes with every season too. So I do love that. One thing that was really important to me was to not have a big black box as a TV. And so I had been asking Sye for a couple of weeks, Sye, I really, really would love to have a frame around our TV. Now, we're young 20-somethings, and we are not quite established in life yet, so we have to DIY a lot of things. So we bought a TV that would mount kind of flush to the wall, and Sye built this ornate frame. And I spray painted it. That's just spray paint. That's not rub and buff or anything. So we love it. And of course with a picture light over it as well. And I love looking at this. A lot of people will come in and they won't even realize that it's a TV. They'll think it's a piece of art. And that is just like chef's kiss. I love that compliment so much. Another favorite piece of mine is actually this large Oshak rug. It is far from boring. It has so many colors that I love, the blues and the greens, and it's just so fun. It makes me happy to look at. When we come in here and have our morning coffee, I love it. I think it's so pretty, and I got this from Amazon as well. And everybody that comes in, they always ask, where did you get your rug from? Where'd you get it? And I tell them Amazon, and I send them the link so we can all have the same rug and just be happy whenever we wake up in the morning. So I love this rug. And it was really important to me as well to have a coffee table that was glass so that we could see through it, and I would be able to see the rug underneath it as well. So one thing that I love to collect is books. This is kind of sad to admit, I'm not a big reader, but I love to decorate with books. My husband is a reader, so that's been fun. All his books that he gets, I can just decorate with, so it's great. And I love to look through them. I don't just buy them only for decor. I do love to look through them, and I love to study. And so my number one hack for finding coffee table books is thrift stores. Thrift stores, oh my goodness, thrift stores, antique stores, and Facebook Marketplace have been a great source of coffee table books for me. They're cheap and they're beautiful most of the time. So I love to collect these. I love to look at my coffee table and see all of these well-collected items, and it really just brings me a lot of joy. And of course, you have to have a candy bowl because you just have to. That adds to the warmth of it all. So that's a must as well. Another thing that I love in this room that is quite eye-catching is our chandelier. So I wanted in this room, I didn't want to have just a regular chandelier. We kind of compromised, actually. I love a chandelier, and my husband doesn't like to be hot. So we compromised, and we put in this chandelier. And it's so much fun. And whenever it opens up to do its fanning, it really is quite strong and makes this room quite cold. So I will have a chandelier in our house for however many moves we have. We will always have a chandelier. Another thing that I found off of Facebook Marketplace were these two beautiful images of polo matches. It completely adds to the Ralph Lauren aesthetic that I love, that is forever timeless. And I think these were so beautiful. They came pre-framed and they were real antiques, and I love them so much. I decided to take them to really almost to the ceiling. I like to just take things high. That's another piece of advice I have to share is take it high. Don't be scared to take a whole gallery wall to the ceiling. It makes this room feel bigger, and it really fills up this kind of lonely corner that we had before. This one says a gallop on the boards and a backhander stops a rush, and these make me also very happy to look at as well. This is our built-in bookshelf that came with the house, and I love a built-in bookshelf. I love to put little things out that wouldn't normally be seen. I love, like I said earlier, to collect coffee table books. This is our wedding candle that would normally be put in a box, but no, I wanted it to be seen. And then, of course, we have our photos, just some small family photos. And this is also one of the first things people go to whenever they come in and they want to come and see what we've put out and look at our family, and it makes me very proud to have such a great family, and I love this space. Also, my parents just got back from Positiano, and one thing I always request whenever they go on their travels is just to bring me back a piece of art. So they brought me back this beautiful painting of Positiano, and I just love to look at it. And here we have another piece of art from our recent trip to Charleston, which if you love design, you love Charleston. And so this is just a piece that we picked up, and every time I look at it, it reminds me of when we went and how it inspired me whenever I came back. And I love these two pieces of art. They mean a lot to me. Another part of our house that also means a lot to me is our gallery wall, our wedding gallery wall to be specific. We got married at the Alana, and it was my dream venue to be at. There was a pool in the bridal suite and a bowling alley for the groomsmen, and it was so grand, and it really just captured us, and it captured what we love, and it was totally over the top and kind of unrealistic, but we loved it, and it was so fun, and people still talk about it today, and more importantly, just the people that were there with us meant a lot to us. And so when they come over, they can see themselves too, and I want them to feel loved whenever they see this wall as well. And picture lights, I am a picture light girl. I think that a picture light elevates every space. I think it can elevate anything. It can go over a picture, it can go over a canvas, it can go over a mirror, and it really just elevates whatever room that you're in. So we will have picture lights on at all times for throughout most of the night. I love our house at nighttime because we have all of these low lit lamps and picture lights, and it really adds just to the coziness of our home that I do love. Now let's transition to the dining room. I would say my overall design style is definitely traditional, a little bold, a little in your face, a lot of Ralph Lauren inspiration with a little bit of coastal influence as well, warm and cozy. And I like to kind of describe my house a little bit like eye candy. Everywhere you look, everything has a story. Everything was thoughtfully placed. And everything is just fun to look at, to me and Sye. And I think that's just what matters most. And so my style altogether is pretty well collected, I would say, and bold. Welcome to our dining room. This is my summer tablescape. If you come close, you can look at this beautiful tablecloth that I actually got from Amazon. It was $15, but don't tell anybody. And I think it's so pretty to look at, and it looks very high-end. But I actually, like I said, purchased from Amazon. And of course, I think that a tablescape is so intentional, and when we have guests come to our home, it's very important for me to feel like I took the time to make them feel loved, to make them feel like I put out my best for them. That's one thing Sye and I love to do, is we love just to lay out the red carpet for people to come in our home and be loved. We want them to leave changed. So here, one thing I am very excited to show you is my napkins. So of course we have Blue Willow. That is just our summer china that we use, and we use this. We don't just set it out. We use our china throughout the year. Even we eat pizza off of it. I kind of made a rule that we're not going to have plastic in the house for our plates and all the things because it would force us to use our china. So I'm currently working on having one set for each season. So I have my summer and my spring set. So I'm very proud of this Blue Willow that my mother-in-law has given me. Now, we are in the South, which means we monogram a lot of things. And I have a wonderful monogram lady. Her name is Susan Fitzhugh. She owns Monogram Mercantile in downtown Fairhope. We love to support local. And she has done so much work for me, but she did this beautiful S&C for Sye and Chandley embroidery work on all 6 of these napkins here. And I actually thrifted these yellow napkins for $2 each and took them to her, and she made them beautiful. So not everything you buy has to be designer and has to be all this, all that in a bucket of rocks for it to be grand. You can go to the thrift store and buy regular napkins, cocktail napkins, pick a color that you love for whatever season that you love. Take it to your local monogram artist and have her fix it up for you. So this has been a very big win for me that I love. Another thing that I love is these touch lamps. So I normally have just drippy candles on either side of whatever flower arrangement I have, but I've currently really been loving these touch lamps, and they have 3 different settings. I just picked these up from TJ Maxx, and I think that they're fabulous. They add a little level of drama. They make you feel like you're at a restaurant. And like I said earlier, any way that we can just elevate our everyday life, we're gonna do that. So this is my summer tablescape that I love to make for people. So my precious mother-in-law, Lisa Carter, she gifted me this beautiful frame that she found at an antique store. And I was just thinking to myself, what am I going to put in there that I love to look at? And I follow a designer. I have followed her for a very long time. Her name is Anna Page. She is a brilliant designer out of New York. And she has this picture over her bed that looks very similar to this. And whenever I looked up where she got it, she said that she did it herself. And so I thought, well, if Anna can do that, maybe I could do it myself. And so I copied Anna Page, point blank period. I just grabbed a canvas and some paint, and I just mimicked her swirls, and I think it's so fun. It's abstract and it's very eye-catching. So I take a lot of pride in the fact that I did this. It was really simple to do, but it still is fun, and I can say that I did it myself. So I love this piece. And we needed something against the picture frame molding that we have on this wall. I wanted to add some dimension. I wanted to add a really grand piece. And Sye and I spent, how long would you say, babe, putting this up?
A week.
About a week. Putting in this picture frame molding that was actually very simple to do. Sorry, can I cut that?
Yes, fine.
That was actually very simple to do. So we have really enjoyed this picture frame molding. I love when light hits it, how it just reflects, and the entire house is painted also in a Swiss coffee, and it looks different in all different kinds of light. It looks great in morning light, noon light, and at nighttime when the lamp light hits it. So we really love this space. Another part of hosting, a rule of thumb that I have in my house at all times, is to always have champagne ready to serve my guest. Whether we're celebrating a new job or someone's got a new car or just because it's a Tuesday, it's really important for me to celebrate the people in our lives. Sye had something happen at work and we cracked open champagne and had it on a Tuesday. And that, I think life is about those little luxuries. And so also every time we have a guest over, whoever walks in through our door, we're gonna have champagne ready and we're gonna celebrate you and we want you to leave happy, you know? One thing that Susan also did, she did these precious cocktail napkins. These are another thing that I thrifted, and she put the Carters on each one. This has Sye's drink, Jack and Coke. Here we have our wedding champagne, obviously Veuve, and then my drink, which is a dirty martini. And she copied exactly what I wanted, and I think that cocktail napkins are so chic and they're so timeless, and they also never go out. So you've got to have champagne at all times on your bar cart, ready to celebrate. One last thing I'll show on the bar cart is this cutie little lamp. I got him at Emmy's Thrift. I named him Jacques. I don't know why, but he looks like a Jacques to me, and he's kind of funky, and we needed a little light in this corner, and I think that he fits perfectly. Also, with that lamp being gold, it just makes it feel special, I guess I should say. Another thing that I have loved to DIY are intaglios. So I have 4, one on each side of our back doors, and I got the frames from Target. I purchased the intaglios from Etsy, and they're biblical intaglios, so they're really special to us. And I would say, all in all, this project of just 4 cost about $60. And for intaglios, that's pretty cheap. And so I knew I didn't have, $300, $400 to buy some from Ballard Designs, so I thought I would do them myself. And I love them. I think that they're so pretty, they're very ornate, and they tell a story, and I like that. And I like that I did them myself. It kind of gives me a little confidence boost, so I like that. They're also a great gift to give for baby showers, wedding showers, birthdays, just because they're affordable and they're impressive. We like that. I am very excited to show you this. This is our dining room gallery wall, and it is filled with different pieces of art that I've collected, different gifts that I've been given, and just little mementos through our life that we've collected, and it is so fun to look at. So I'm just going to talk you through it a little bit. Up here we have a picture of the wineries of Napa Valley. I found this in a coffee table book, and it was a book about wine, and I looked through it, and after I had bought it, and I saw that there was this beautiful map of the wineries of Napa, and I just thought it was so pretty it had to be in a frame. Next is a picture I got off of Etsy. I believe it's called Casa Amor, and we love the beach. We love to be by water, and it's very Italian inspired. This, I believe, is a picture off of Lake Como. I could be wrong on that, but it's beautiful. Next is an image of Audrey, because of course she has to get up here, has to be on the wall somewhere. I actually grabbed this picture out of a coffee table book as well and put it up there, and it has some quotes from her that I love. Fox hunt prints are another thing that I love to collect. They are I love an English inspired moment, and I think that it's just a really pretty thing as well. We have our wedding champagne and a matching picture of our wedding champagne as well. That was painted for us and gifted to us by my sister-in-law Aggie, and we have it out to display all the time. Here is a picture of our first home. We called that the Carter Cottage. That was whenever we lived in Saraland. And it was such a simple, small home, but it meant a lot to us. And we really loved living there for the time being. This is actually our second home to live in, but we'll be here for quite a while. We have our wedding invitation. Girls, if you have your wedding invitation and it's just stuffed away in a box somewhere, I would encourage you to get it out, put it in a pretty frame. That way everybody can see it. One thing that my mother has taught me, she's taught me so much in life, she has taught me to write things down. So she gave me this book by Jacques Pepin, and it is a book where every time you host, you can have your friends sign. That way you can keep track of your memories, and you write the menu down so you know what you ate. And it's just a small way to be intentional with the parties that you throw. And Jacques Pepin has just beautiful work that he's done. And so I'm very excited to use this book throughout our life and keep track of the memories that we have. One more thing that I'll show you is going to be this Mark and Graham punch bowl that I just stinking love. Oh my gosh, it has our last name engraved on it, and we put this puppy to use all of the time. We put this punch bowl to use all the time. For as many showers as I throw, parties that we have, this thing is always full, whether it's of wine, of sparkling water, of a floral arrangement. This thing is very versatile, and I love it. It's brass and in your face, and I like that. Why not go a little big? Because our home is small and I don't have a space to put an entry table, I decided to make a cookbook table right in this corner next to our fridge. It has my small collection that I have gathered over the past 2.5 years of being married of vintage Southern living books and other cookbooks that I have collected or have been gifted to me. And it's very easy to have them sitting out like this. I can just grab one and go to the table with a cup of tea or coffee and just study and figure out what I want to cook that night, make that day, make for the party. And so I've really enjoyed this stage of wifehood. I've really enjoyed looking through cookbooks. And I remember as a little girl, my mom would always be at the table and she would always be going through cookbooks and dog tagging them and highlighting them. And it was very comforting for me as a little girl to see my mom do that. So now I want to do that in our family, and I want our kids to feel how I felt with just this small little luxury of looking through a cookbook and just finding what you want to serve your family. I wanted to show you this rug that I purchased also from Facebook Marketplace. It was $10. And whenever I got it, it was quite messy. So I power washed it 2 times, and with a little grit and determination, you can make a lot of things work. And this is now sitting in our dining room, and I think that it adds a beautiful amount of blue and white to this space. And I'm very proud that I got this for only $10 on Marketplace. So I wanted to share that with you too. Rugs can sometimes be a little hit or miss on Marketplace, but sometimes when they hit, they hit.
Chandley makes all the design decisions when it comes to the decor. Now,
Yes.
she does, I'm guessing you'll see shortly, is we've got kind of the man cave area in here that has a lot of my trophies and things that, and just kind of my area that, but she also helped design it. I was just like, yeah, that'll probably look good on the wall. And she's like, okay, but it doesn't need to go there. It needs to go over here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but most of my design, besides structural components, comes from, her pointing and telling me what to do, so.
Yes, I like a lot of masculine influence as well into design. So we have a whole separate area that was added on to the house before we bought it. It has raw brick and it's a bit moody in there, and so I got to play and do some different things that I wouldn't normally do in that room. Now I will say, even though I make all of the design choices, Sye makes all my dreams come true, truly. Like, everything that I've wanted to do with this house, we did it ourselves. The only two things we hired out for was the countertops and the tile work in the kitchen and in the bathrooms. Other than that, Sye did this with his own two hands. Everything from the painting to staining the floors to the picture frame molding to hanging light fixtures. Sye has done it all himself. And so I think that is also why we love this house so much. And I'm not ready to move for a very long time because I think I'm emotionally attached to this place now. So that's a little bit about that. Welcome to our kitchen. Now, this kitchen, like I said, is the heart of our home. I am learning a lot with cooking and burning a lot of things and getting to create and explore in here, and I've really enjoyed it a lot. So we have a galley kitchen in here that my husband and I completely renovated. Whenever we first came in, it had a dark walnut cabinets, and it felt like it was very crowding and it felt very small. So him and I got in here and ripped out this entire thing down to the subfloor. And because this kitchen is so small, it was important for us to pick design choices that made this room feel light and airy, but still had a little bit of drama to it. For example, this white and beige marble checkerboard floor in the kitchen is so much fun. It's definitely out of the ordinary, but I think that it adds a little bit of a dramatic flair that this space really needed, as well as the countertops too. I didn't want to just pick out just a regular quartz or just anything bland. I wanted for it to have some veining in it, and I wanted for it to have a little bit of a story behind it as well. We had these installed by Stone Interiors in Loxley, and they did a fabulous job, and we just really love these countertops a lot. So I also wanted to have a backsplash that had longer tiles with a little bit of wear and tear to them. So Sye did this himself, this beautiful backsplash. And I'm very, very proud of him. He did it all by himself, and there was no mess ups or anything, and he copied my vision entirely. So I'm very thankful to him for that. And of course, you have to have a pot filler. I think it just adds a little bit of grandiose, don't you think? So pot filler is a must in all of our homes as well. We are a very big coffee family as well. Sye and I have coffee multiple times a day, every morning. He has it all throughout the day as well, so coffee is very important to us. And I made this little piece of art with him, and it is a picture of our coffee stains. And it says, "How do you take your coffee, Chan? With you, Sye." And this is something I saw off of Pinterest, and I thought, my husband and I can recreate that, and it can be a sweet little memento to our little coffee corner. And we always get a lot of compliments on it, and it just is a very romantic piece that I love. We are pretty romantic, so I think that you need that in marriage and in life as well. Why not be a little extra? Why not be a little romantic? And of course, my favorite coffee shop is Ralph's Coffee in Chicago and New York. And so I saved one of my sleeves and put it in a frame from TJ Maxx, and I have really loved it there. So this is our little coffee corner that we visit every day, and it's simple, sleek, to the point, not too much in your face, but we love it. It's very cozy to me. Next, if you are in the South, I know you got a plate wall in your house, or at least you're working on one, I hope. Here we have my blue willow set that was gifted to me from my mother-in-law, Lisa. It's beautiful. It took me not very long to put up either, and I wanted to take it higher. I wanted to make it a little dramatic, take it to the ceiling, and I think that it fits perfectly in this space. I was trying to decide whether to put a picture or, I don't know, really. I didn't know what would go here, but I'm so thankful that I put this plate wall right here because it's very grand, and I plan to actually, as I collect more in life, because I'm only 24, as I collect more plates, I want to take it all the way across and make this whole area just pop. So that is my plan. But currently, I'm really thankful for our simple but yet grand plate wall. Next, let's transition into the den. I would say my favorite rooms in the house are the living room because we get a lot of natural light in here and it really reflects off of all of the blues and whites and creams that I have placed in here. I would also say the dining room is it's the heartbeat of our home as well as the kitchen. So I would say those 3 rooms are my favorite because this is where we host. I have a huge passion for hosting, a huge passion to make everybody feel when they walk through our doors that they're loved and seen and celebrated. And so this is where we get to love on people, is really in these 3 rooms. We cook them meals and we talk with them, we pray with them, and this is how we build our community. And this is what we have a real passion for. And so in these 3 rooms is really just the heart of our home.
Yeah, and I would say mine, maybe a little weird, but is the guest bathroom, because every time people come over, they're like, wow, this is a great room. And it's like the only room that has, it's much more moody, a different color than everything else in the house. And yeah, I just love the interactions. People are like, wow, that was such a great experience going to your bathrooms.
Yeah. We call that our pack-a-punch bathroom because it's very different from the rest of the house, and it is very Polo inspired, Polo, Ralph Lauren. We've had a lot of people say, I feel like I just got back from the Polo Lounge in New York City. And I think that's the best compliment ever, so we just eat that up. So this is our den/gentleman's room. So this was an added on part of the house whenever we bought it. And we were thinking when we bought it, what are we gonna put in here? What is this for? Most of the time, I just clear all this out and make this our party room. This is where I throw my showers, and I normally have a really long table in here where we eat and we just have events, and it's very fun because the ceilings are so high. So instead, when we're not throwing parties, we make this our sitting room or our reading room. Eventually it will be a library, but for now, it is just a fun room. It's very moody in here, and we have a potbelly stove that is original to the house that when the wintertime comes in South Alabama, not very often, or we kind of have wimpy winters here, but when the winter does come, this thing will heat up the entire house against this brick. It will kind of bake the house. So we find this very cozy.
I'm sort of into anything outdoors. I love to duck hunt. I love to fish. I love to deer hunt. I've kind of grown up doing all of it. So when Chan said, hey, there might be a wall you can have in this house, I was like, okay, I'll take it. So yeah, these are just some trophies from years past, some ducks, some deer, biggest fish, biggest bass to date. So it's kind of cool that she's, kind of included this room, included me in this room.
Another thing we love is this true antique couch that was kind of gifted to us off of Facebook Marketplace from a sweet lady named Julia Lake. She owns the clubhouse here in Fairhope, and she is a designer, and she was just getting rid of this couch, and she gifted it to us for free. And it's very comfortable. It's not stiff in the slightest. And it has these very loud colors, greens, yellows, and a little bit of purple. It's kind of like Mobile Mardi Gras in a way. And we love it. It's very well kept and very comfortable. If I'm upstairs watching a show and Sye would rather read, he'll come down here and he'll read and have his time. And so this is the piece that we needed for this room to make it feel complete. And so I'm very excited that we snagged this whenever we did. Right place, right time. So I love this couch. One thing that we did to pull out the green in this couch was put in these grand hunter green curtains. And we took them to the ceiling. It's probably my #1 design ick is when curtains don't go to the ceiling. You've got to take them up. You've got to take them high. Make that room feel big. So I love these. We put these on either window, doubled them up, of course, and these were from Amazon. So we have loved these. They block light as well, and they just add to that kind of hunter-esque that Sye is, and I think that's really great. One last thing in this room that I'll show you are these totally unnecessary, but they work, zebra chairs. I picked these up also from Emmy's thrift store in Fairhope, and I think that they're so fun. Sye hasn't hunted any African animals, but I think that it's so fun. You can all, animal print to me never goes out of style. And I think that it was just 2 chairs that we needed, and they were a little loud and they were a little obnoxious, but why not have some zebra chairs in your den? You know, it's okay. And lastly is this bar cart that I got off of Marketplace, shocker. It's a globe, and this is going to be fully stocked soon, but we love it. It's very masculine. It has that dark wood, and it has just really spruced up this corner that we have here, and so I love it. You'll be so shocked if you give Marketplace a chance. We really enjoy this little corner, this bar cart, and we put it to use. I moved from Dallas to Mobile, Alabama, where we both attended the University of South Alabama, and we are college sweethearts. And we have been married for coming up, it'll be 3 years in January. So we're right at 2.5 years, and we got married at the Alana in Dallas, Texas. That was my dream venue, and it was just a lovely day, and marriage has been so much fun, and I am just really thankful for this season of life that we're in. I would say we're building our life right now, and it's just grit is our word of the year. We talked about that the other day, how this is just a season of life where we're working hard for the things that we want, and it's just been a really rewarding season.
Yeah, so our story of how we met, let's see. We were at a sanctioned event for South Alabama, and I saw her and I was like, hot dog, I gotta know who that is. So, long story short, I did. And then, yeah, she pushed me off for like 6 weeks. And finally let me get her number. And then, yeah, a couple years later, yeah, we got engaged, and here we are, and joined our families, and her family's moved over here, and yeah, we just, you know, making friends and living life together, so.
Yeah, we don't have children yet, so we are just trying to travel as much as we can and just make the most of these early years in our marriage, and it has been really fun and very rewarding and a lot of work, so we're very thankful. When we purchased this house, we knew it was going to be a really big undertaking. And when we were doing our walkthrough, this bathroom was doused in pink tile. It had pink tile on the floors. There was a Pepto pink shower. I think there may have even been a pink toilet, definitely a pink seat, but it was a 60s time capsule. And we turned it into this. We wanted to have a lot of fun in this room. I wanted to really play off of my Ralph Lauren inspiration. It's very small in here, so I had to really maximize my space. We put in, of course, a black and white checkered floor to really just liven up this space. It was painted in a hunter green by Behr that adds just such a depth to this room and makes it feel quite grand. We put in crown molding, and I just began to collect pieces that were inspired by Ralph Lauren. So I grabbed this from an antique store. This is a pretty big fox hunt picture that I got, and it's called Run to Earth. It's big, it covers almost this entire wall, and I just love to look at it. I think it's so cool, and the red in it kind of adds just another color that is not really in this room. So I love this piece. Next, I grabbed this mirror from Facebook Marketplace. I thought that it was very, very ornate, and it fit perfectly in between those 2 sconces that we purchased from Amazon. This vanity is from Lowe's, and I wanted to have like kind of a white oak vanity against the marble. I think that that natural and cold tile, it just looks well, it meshes well to me. And I've really enjoyed it. Another thing on this vanity that I think is so much fun is this antique faucet. It is so pretty. It's the polished nickel, All of our faucets and light fixtures came from Amazon. And an Amazon hack is, even if it says that it's been used, it's really just most of the time open box. And so we got this one pre-used, which was just open box at a discount, and it fits beautifully in this space. So I love that. Here is another print that I got from Etsy. It is just a black and white image of a polo match that I think is very chic, very, very cool. And here is my prized possession in this bathroom. We took our shower curtain to the ceiling, and I took this back to Susan at the Monogram Mercantile and told her that I wanted for her to do our wedding crest on this shower curtain. And she did it in like a week, and it is so fun. It is a great way for us to use this crest, not only on our wedding invitations, but other places as well. And it's very unexpected. Kind of an unexpected area that we get to have a special moment, and we get to elevate this tiny little room. And so this is also one of my favorite rooms in the house as well. So this is our guest bathroom. So one thing that I found at the Daphne Antique Galleria was this cute little bell. And when we have company over, we ring this to let our guests know that breakfast is ready. And it's so cute. I think it's so much fun. And it makes our guests feel like they're staying at a hotel or staying somewhere fun. And it's been very fun for Sye and I to use. And he'll ring it for me when my coffee's ready too, which is a plus. So I do love that. Now taking you into our guest room. So because we live on the Eastern Shore, we have a lot of coastal influence in our design. So I love all white bedding. It's very versatile and can go with every season, and it's very forgiving in that way. I also love to have towels ready for my guests. That way they don't have to worry, they don't have to ask for anything. One of my favorite pieces in here has to be this oyster shell mirror that I acquired from Marketplace. It was handmade, and I think that it looks so pretty. It pulls out the gray in the headboard, and I think it's just such a cool piece, very coastal. And I love oysters, especially living close by the bay. So we love that. One more thing in here, we decided to keep our rooms pretty not overpopulated with things. We wanted it to be a little bit of a break, a little easy to breathe. And you know, one thing that I love is this champagne chiller that I got from Home Goods. It's just a big shell, and I always have champagne in here for my guests, or if they don't drink, I'll have sparkling water or just some kind of goodie for them. And this is one little thing that I just really love. If you were into design and homemaking and all of that, there's always those few little details that you just love and makes your heart come alive. And this is just a small little detail. I love having napkins. I love collecting napkins. Home Goods, fantastic napkin selection. So this is a part of our guest room that I really love, and I want for our guests to feel as if they're at the Carter Hotel, and I want them to feel just grand. I want them to feel loved. And this is just small ways that I can be intentional and show them that through the folding of the linens, through the laying out of wine, and just giving them a safe space where they can just relax and not feel pressure is very, very important to Sye and I together. Now let's go to the primary bedroom and bathroom. As we're making our way down the hallway, this is a portrait that I actually painted myself. The colors don't really go with my color scheme of the house, but it means a lot to me. I've named it Consider the Wildflowers after that verse in the Bible that talks about considering the wildflowers and how they're dressed and not to be anxious about anything. And this is a piece that means a lot to me. Even though it doesn't really make sense with the rest of my house, it reminds me that I don't need to be anxious and I just need to trust in the Lord. And that's one thing that I have really held fast to. Now, I want you to also get an image of your mind of a completely tealed out bathroom. Teal tile, teal toilet, teal bathtub. That is what we were working with. until we turned it into a white marble primary bathroom. It's also a very, very small space, so we've had to max it out, but I think we did a great job when we flipped it. It's been very, very fun in here. One thing that I am very excited to show you is my swan faucet. I have named her Georgina because she's fabulous. And I have a matching picture of her that I got from Amazon. It was pre-framed actually, and I thought that it just worked great in this space. This is where I get ready. This swan faucet makes me feel like I'm in a castle in my own delusional mind. So I have loved this faucet, and I told Sye, no matter where we go, we're gonna either buy another one of her or we're taking her with us because I love it that much. One fear that I had was mixing metals in this bathroom, but I just decided to kind of go for it. We have obviously our gold swan, we have our gold sconces, and then in the actual shower, we have just chrome. And I think that it works well. It kind of breaks it up. It's a mix of modern and antique and old, and I think that it just blends very well together. So we put the shower in ourselves. Sye did it. I helped him hold up the pieces, and we put this thing together. And I have really loved this small bathroom. It hasn't been a frustrating place to be because it's so light and airy, and we've just maximized our space. And we just kind of pretend like we're in like a New York style apartment where we have to maximize our space. So it's been a great place for us to be. And it's been really fun to design as well. If you want to add one really special detail to your guest room, you can add 2 robes. This is what we have done. We had 2 white robes monogrammed with an S and a C for Sye and Chandley. And I believe it really gives it that hotel feel. And that's what we want for our guests to experience. Susan Fitzhugh did this for us as well at Monogram Mercantile. She's done so much for me, and I have just loved her work. And I want to just have these in every room, to be honest with you. We're going to have some more made soon, but for this room, I think they're perfect. And I want for our guests to feel luxurious, and this is one way that they can. And for our light fixture in this hallway, we chose this beautiful piece from Amazon that was very affordable, and it looks quite designer if you ask me. And so it really lights up this space, and I love how it reflects through those glass pieces, and it looks very grand. And it kind of gives a little bit of a coastal flair as well. Come with me into the primary bedroom. So in here, we don't have that much space to work with. So it's very simple, but we've had to make it as grand as we can. So these toile curtains were gifted to me from a lovely PA that I work with. She said she had these back in the 80s. So they're and they were old then is what she had said. So even though it is a major design ick of mine when curtains don't go to the ceiling, these were too short to go to the ceiling, and I didn't have the time to have them extended. So I had to just make do. But I think that surprisingly, it works in this room because it's already so small in here. With these curtains being a little bit lower, it makes it a little more cozy in here as well. We have a matching quilt on our bed as well, just the same blue toile that never goes out of style. Very, very southern and very safe. And I like that. In a bedroom, I like a little bit of safe. Very easy for us to turn off the stimulation of the rest of our house. So we love this bedroom. One thing that I found that I loved were these lamps. I got these lamps from Walmart of all places, and I think that they look very high end. And they're kind of shockingly fun, the iron pleated lamps, and I think that they just add a little pizzazz to our tiny little room. I also have this picture up here of quails. I acquired this piece from the at-home store in Mobile, and it was like 60 bucks, and I think that it went perfectly over our bed. And this is an original antique right here. This was Sye's great-grandma's bed frame. And we have kept it in the family and will continue to keep it in the family. It's very old, still has the stain, and I think that it's very cool that it's now ours, and we'll pass it down to our children. I love this piece. Home to me is a place where you can be authentically yourself, where you can be fearless in your design choices. That was the best piece of advice I ever received when I was just studying design on my own, reading coffee table books, just reading design books, and just studying something that I love, which is interiors. And I think our house is a reflection of who we are. We try to be fearless in a lot of things. We try to be bold in our personalities and authentic to who we are. We try not to be anybody else but ourselves. And so home to me is a place where we can host people, where we can love on people, where we can grow our family. And it's a place of peace as well. I am acutely aware that it is up to me to create memories for my family. And I think that our home, it's important that it's a sanctuary for us to make memories, and it's comfortable, and it's not too stuffy. And that is home to me, as a place where we can make memories, and we can laugh, and we can move, but it still be an elevated space. My mom always says, we want to elevate the ordinary, Chandley. We want to elevate the ordinary. And so that's one thing that I have really tried to bring into our marriage, into our life, is to elevate the everyday things. And that is what home means to me.
And home to me is just being with Chandley. It doesn't matter. It is. It doesn't matter where. It doesn't. The house is beautiful. I love this house. I love our home. But it doesn't matter where we are. As long as we're together, and as long as we're healthy, we're safe, and we're blessed. That it doesn't matter where we are. So, home is the people you surround yourself with in your family.
That's a good answer.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.